Have you ever scrolled through your phone late at night and felt like everyone else is ahead of you? Someone's traveling the world. Someone just got promoted. Another person is launching a business. And there you are, lying in bed, wondering if you're wasting your time. That tight feeling in your chest, that's FOMO, fear of missing out. Most people think of FOMO as a weakness, a distraction, a curse born from the digital age. But what if I told you that FOMO isn't your enemy? It's your fuel. It's a primal alert system screaming, "Wake up. You're not living the life you're meant to live." And if you learn how to harness it, FOMO can become one of the most powerful motivators in your life. We've been conditioned to run from uncomfortable feelings, anxiety, numb it, fear, bury it, jealousy, shame it. But what if, instead of silencing the noise, you listen to it? What if every pang of discomfort was a message, not to make you suffer, but to spark a fire? Because here's the truth. FOMO is not about other people, it's about you. It's a reflection of your unrealized potential. Every time you feel like you're missing out, it's not because someone else is winning, it's because you know deep down you're capable of more. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man in his 30s, stuck in a 9-to-5 he hated. Every time he saw someone post about quitting their job and chasing their dreams, he felt that sharp stab of envy. He'd scoff, scroll past, and tell himself, "That's not real life." But late at night, in silence, the truth whispered, "You want that too." FOMO gnawed at him for years, until one day he stopped fighting it. He leaned in. He used that envy as a roadmap. Those posts didn't make him feel small. They showed him exactly what he wanted. And for the first time in years, he took a decisive action. He started his own side hustle. That side hustle turned into a business. That business changed his life. You see, FOMO is a mirror. You can break it in frustration, or you can look into it and finally see who you're meant to become. This speech isn't about how to silence your FOMO. It's about how to weaponize it, how to take that gnawing fear and use it to build the life you know you deserve. Because while most people waste energy running away from it, the masters use it to move faster, decide quicker, and act sharper. This is shadow mastery, the art of turning what most people suppress into your greatest strategic edge. In the next parts of this journey, I'll show you how to decode the emotional message inside your FOMO, how to convert it into immediate action, and how to rewire your brain to use fear as a compass, not a cage. We're going to take something that used to keep you up at night and turn it into the very thing that gets you out of bed with fire in your eyes. You ready? Let's begin. The next time you feel that sting of FOMO, don't push it away. Pay attention, because within that discomfort lies a message. It's not just a random wave of emotion. It's data, it's insight, it's your subconscious mind screaming, "There's something here that matters to you." Most people treat FOMO like a mosquito, something to swat away because it annoys them. But the smart ones, they treat it like a compass, a signal pointing towards something they truly want, even if they've been too afraid to admit it. Let's break this down. Imagine two people watching the same video. Someone just bought their dream house at 32. One person watches and shrugs. The other feels a punch in the gut. That punch is FOMO, and it's incredibly personal. It's not about envy, it's about resonance. That dream house, it reflects a desire buried inside, a longing that hasn't been fulfilled. Now, here's where most people go wrong. They feel the discomfort, and instead of using it, they run. They numb it with distractions, more scrolling, more excuses, more rationalization. that's not for people like me. But what they don't realize is, FOMO is the roadmap they've been looking for all along. Every time you feel it, you're being given a gift. Clarity. Let me share a story. A young woman, fresh out of college, kept seeing others online, landing high-paying jobs at companies she dreamt of working for. Each post stung, not because she hated them, but because she saw herself in them. Only, not yet fulfilled. She tried to shake it off. "I'm on my own path," she'd say. But deep down, she knew she wasn't even on a path. She was stuck in indecision, waiting for something to change. One day, instead of numbing it, she leaned into the pain. She wrote down exactly what triggered her FOMO. What job, what field, what kind of life. For the first time, she got specific, and then she acted. She revamped her resume, took free online certifications, reached out to people in the field. Within 6 months, she had 3 interviews at companies she thought were out of her league. FOMO didn't crush her, it carved her path. You see, clarity is the foundation of decisive action, and FOMO, when embraced, provides that clarity in brutal honesty. It tells you what you truly want, it exposes what you've been avoiding, and more importantly, it lights up the exact direction you need to go. Think of it like this. Your emotional pain points are the coordinates of your future. Every pang of jealousy, every moment of longing, every ache in your gut when someone else achieves what you haven't. It's not punishment, it's instruction, a signal telling you this is where your attention should go. So, the next time you feel FOMO creep in, pause. Don't reach for your phone. Don't scroll it away. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling? What triggered it? What does this say about what I want? And what's the next small action I can take toward it? That's how you turn emotional chaos into strategic clarity. This is the path of shadow mastery. Not ignoring the darkness, but interrogating it. Not escaping the emotion, but extracting power from it. You stop being a slave to your fears and become the master of your fate. FOMO isn't weakness, it's your internal compass, waiting to be read. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into how to shift from awareness into action, how to turn that emotional insight into momentum that lasts, and decisions that count. But first, let this sink in. Your discomfort is your data. Start paying attention. Now that you understand, FOMO is not your enemy, but a guide. Let's talk about the moment that changes everything. When awareness becomes action. Because knowledge alone is never enough. You can reflect, analyze, journal, even cry. But unless you do something, FOMO will devour you from the inside out. It will rot your confidence. It will paralyze your momentum. It will make you a spectator in your own life. So how do you go from emotional urgency to decisive action? It starts with a question. What can I do right now that moves me one step closer to what I truly want? That question is powerful because it bypasses overwhelm. You don't need a 5-year plan. You don't need a breakthrough moment. You need one clear step. Most people freeze because they feel they need to do something big. Quit their job, move cities, launch a company. But the truth is, transformations begin with the smallest act of defiance against stagnation. Let me give you a story. There was a man who always dreamed of being a writer. He followed authors online, subscribed to writing newsletters, and even bought expensive pens and journals. Every time he saw someone publish a book, he felt that sharp pang. FOMO was eating him alive. One night, after another scroll through social media left him feeling hollow, he did something different. He didn't plan his future. He didn't wait for the perfect idea. He opened a blank page and wrote 200 words. That's it. And he repeated it the next day, and the next. 1 year later, He self-published his first short story collection. His FOMO hadn't gone away. It had evolved into a tool. Every time he felt that itch, he wrote more. He took the signal and used it as fuel. This is what shadow mastery looks like. Small, intentional action in the face of emotional chaos. Let's break it down into a formula. Emotional trigger plus self-awareness plus micro-action equals sign momentum 1. Emotional trigger, FOMO, jealousy, restlessness. 2. Self-awareness, recognize it. Ask, what am I really wanting right now? 3. Micro-action, take one small non-negotiable action that aligns with that desire. Momentum doesn't come from motivation, it comes from movement. You don't need to feel ready, you need to move anyway. Here's another example. A woman constantly felt FOMO seeing others travel the world. She thought the answer was quitting her job and flying across the globe. But the truth was, what she wanted wasn't travel, it was freedom. She started waking up earlier, reading more, saving money intentionally, building a freelance skill. Within a year, she transitioned into a remote job that gave her both income and freedom. FOMO gave her the fire, but strategy gave her the wings. So here's the challenge. The next time you feel the ache of missing out, don't suppress it. Translate it. Ask, what does this feeling want me to know? What does it say about the kind of life I want? And what can I do today that moves me 1 inch closer to it? Don't wait for clarity to take action. Take action, and clarity will follow. Because here's the thing, people who master their lives aren't the ones who feel less fear. They're the ones who move through it faster. FOMO isn't a storm to wait out. It's a spark to ignite something real. In the next part, we'll explore how to keep the fire going, how to sustain the momentum and prevent relapse into indecision and distraction. But for now, remember this, action is the antidote to FOMO, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. So, you've taken your first step. You felt the FOMO, asked the hard questions, and made a move. That's powerful. But now comes the real challenge, keeping it going. Anyone can act once. The masters act again and again. Why? Because they know that momentum is a muscle, and like any muscle, if you don't train it, it weakens. FOMO doesn't disappear after one brave decision. It evolves, it changes shape. One day it whispers, you're falling behind. The next, it hisses, you're not doing enough. And if you're not careful, it will drag you into the same cycle of paralysis you escaped from. That's why building momentum isn't about a one-time breakthrough. It's about daily discipline, consistency over intensity. Small, strategic moves repeated until they become second nature. Let me tell you a story. A man once wanted to get in shape. He was tired of seeing others post gym selfies, flexing their transformations. Every post made him feel like he was too far behind. But instead of hitting the gym for 3 hours and burning out, he did something smarter. He walked for 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes, then 15, then 30. Over time, he added strength training. He built the habit like a muscle. A year later, he had a completely different body and mindset. Not because he trained like an athlete, but because he trained like a master. That's the secret. Momentum isn't built in a day. It's earned through repetition, through showing up when it's boring, when it's not exciting, when the motivation fades and all you have left is commitment. FOMO can spark the flame, but routine is what keeps the fire alive. Let me show you how to train your momentum like a muscle. 1. Set a minimum standard. Define your non-negotiables. What's the smallest action you must do every day, no matter what? This could be 10 minutes of writing, 15 minutes of study, 1 outreach email. Make it simple, clear, and repeatable. 2. Track the chain. Use a calendar. Every day you hit your minimum, mark an X. Build a streak. See the pattern. Protect the chain. Missing one day is human. Missing two is momentum murder. 3. Anchor the habit. Attach your new action to something that already exists. Want to journal daily? Do it right after brushing your teeth. Want to work out? Start as soon as you get home from work. Habits stick when they're anchored to routines. 4. Celebrate progress. Don't wait until the big win. Celebrate the reps. Every small win strengthens your identity. Every checkbox you tick confirms, I am someone who moves forward. This is the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers wait for lightning. Doers build generators. You don't need more inspiration. You need a system, one that can run even when your emotions don't. And here's the beautiful twist. The more consistent your action, the quieter your FOMO becomes. Why? Because your brain starts to believe you're in the game. You're not watching anymore. You're playing. You're building. You're becoming. Here's another quick story. A content creator kept feeling FOMO watching others grow their YouTube channels. For months he hesitated. What if my videos aren't good enough? But one day he set a minimum. One short video per day, even if it wasn't perfect. He posted every day for 90 days. On day 92, one video went viral. On day 100, his subscriber count exploded. It wasn't talent that changed his life. It was momentum. So ask yourself, what's your minimum standard? What system can you create to keep moving even when motivation disappears? How will you protect your momentum when life gets loud? Because here's what no one tells you. FOMO can be your greatest gift if it drives you to build habits that move you beyond it. In the next part, we'll talk about how to manage the emotional dips, when comparison creeps in, when doubt resurfaces, when the progress feels invisible. But for now, tattoo this on your mind. Discipline is the antidote to doubt. Repetition is the cure for fear. Momentum is your leverage. Build it, protect it, own it. Let's talk about the hardest part of turning FOMO into action when nothing seems to be working. You've been consistent. You've built the habits. You've done the work. But the results, barely noticeable. No applause. No breakthroughs. No one watching. No external signs that it's paying off. And here comes the whisper. Maybe you're not meant for this. Others are just better. You're still missing out. This is the moment that breaks most people. But it's also the moment that defines the few who rise. Because shadow mastery isn't just about using your FOMO to start. It's about mastering your inner world when the outer world is silent. You see, the real battle isn't between you and others. It's between your present effort and your impatient mind. And in this battle, emotion is the trickiest opponent. Why? Because your brain is wired to seek instant validation. Likes, comments, quick wins, metrics. But real transformation, real mastery, it's quiet, slow, and often invisible at first. Let me give you a powerful analogy. When you plant a bamboo seed, you water it every day for 5 years, and nothing breaks the surface. But during that time, it's growing an underground root system so strong it can support 80 feet of growth in a matter of weeks. When it finally breaks through the soil, it shoots up at lightning speed. You weren't wasting time watering for 5 years. You were building unseen strength. That's exactly what momentum feels like. The world may not see your growth yet, but something is shifting underground. Let me tell you a story. A woman was building her personal brand online. For months, she posted, wrote, and shared value. Barely any followers. No one responded. She wanted to quit every week, but she made herself a promise. 1 post a day for 365 days, no matter what. On day 196, one of her posts went viral. On day 203, she landed her first paid collaboration. Today, she speaks on stages. The first 195 days, her bamboo root system. Here's the truth. Your FOMO doesn't care about your feelings. It will keep screaming until you feed it proof that you're moving. But don't confuse lack of attention with lack of growth. The world might not be clapping yet, but if you're putting in the reps, you're winning. So how do you survive the emotional setbacks? 1. Anchor to process, not outcome. Instead of asking, why am I not getting results? Ask, did I do the work today? Shift your metric from results to consistency. 2. Embrace the silence. Silence is not absence, it's incubation. Many people quit because no one noticed their effort, but silence is where the strongest foundations are built. 3. Reframe the comparison. When you see someone succeeding, don't say I'm behind. Say, that's what's possible. Let it expand your vision, not shrink your worth. 4. Revisit your why. When doubt grows loud, remind yourself why you started. Was it just for applause, or was it to prove to yourself that you could become more? This is the true test of shadow mastery. Can you keep moving forward, even when no one is clapping? Most people only act when they're seen. The masters act because they've seen themselves. Let your progress be quiet. Let your growth be personal. Let your fire burn silently until it lights up the world. In the next part, we'll talk about how to use community, accountability, and competition to further fuel your momentum and turn internal discipline into external momentum multipliers. But for now, hear this. Just because your progress is invisible doesn't mean it's insignificant. You are building. You are becoming. Stay in motion. Here's a truth. Most people underestimate. You don't need more willpower. You need more leverage. You've done the inner work. You've built routines. You've pushed through silence. But if you want to sustain momentum over months and years, you can't rely on discipline alone. You need external forces that keep the engine running. When your internal drive flickers, this is where leverage comes in. Shadow Masters understand that the smartest way to go far isn't to go alone. It's to create an ecosystem that amplifies every move you make. There are 3 multipliers of momentum that most high performers use, even if they don't always talk about them. Accountability, community, and competition. Let's break them down. Accountability, pressure that protects you. When you keep your goals to yourself, you leave room for negotiation. I'll start tomorrow. I'm tired today. No one will notice if I skip. But when you tell someone your goal, especially someone who expects results, you remove the back door. You close the escape route. Now there's pressure, and that pressure, it's healthy. A man once wanted to write a book, but kept putting it off. So he made a bold move. He pre-announced the release date online and promised to donate $1,000 to a cause he hated if he missed the deadline. Guess what? He finished the manuscript on time. Accountability isn't about shame, it's about stakes. And when the stakes are clear, your commitment deepens. So ask yourself, who can I share my goal with? Who will call me out if I shrink? What consequences can I create to make quitting more painful than pushing forward? 2. Community, environment that elevates you. You become like the people you spend the most time with, period. Surround yourself with dreamers who only talk. Your energy will drain. Surround yourself with doers who execute daily. Your standards will rise. Community isn't just about support, it's about expectation. When you're around people who make progress normal, you stop celebrating basic steps and start reaching for bigger goals. If you're the most motivated person in the room, it's time to find a new room. A young entrepreneur once joined a small mastermind group. They met weekly. No fluff, just goals, progress, and honest feedback. Within a year, his revenue tripled, not because of secret strategies, but because of consistent proximity to high standards. You don't have to do this alone. Find your circle, or create one. 3. Competition. Pressure that sharpens your edge. There's a dark side to competition, yes. It can breed ego, envy, toxic comparison. But used correctly, competition isn't about beating others. It's about bringing out your best self. Shadow masters compete in silence, not for trophies, but for transformation. Let me share a story. 2 friends started a podcast at the same time. They had similar skills, similar ideas. One was casual, the other tracked every episode the first one released, used it as fuel, and asked himself daily, how can I get better? Within 6 months, the second one passed 100K subscribers, not out of spite, but out of structured competition. He let the challenge push him, not poison him. Ask yourself, who around me is doing what I want to do? Can I turn their progress into fuel, not frustration? Can I create a scorecard for myself to track growth, not approval? The key to mastering FOMO isn't just internal resilience, it's external reinforcement. When the pressure comes from within and around you, you stop breaking, you start building under fire. So let me challenge you, don't just set goals, make them public. Don't just do the work, join people who expect the work. Don't just try harder, compete smarter. In the next part, we'll explore how to protect your focus and energy in a world that profits from your distraction, and how to build a mental fortress around your vision. But for now, remember, willpower is a spark, leverage is the flame that keeps burning. Multiply your momentum, forge your edge, and never walk alone. Let's face it, this world is not built for your focus. It's engineered to hijack your attention, harvest your time, and sell your emotions back to you. Every notification, every trending soundbite, every algorithm designed for one thing, to keep you distracted. And when you're distracted, you can't decide. When you can't decide, you don't act. And when you don't act, your FOMO festers into frustration, regret, and paralysis. This is why building momentum isn't just about speed, it's about protection. A space where your energy is preserved, your goals are prioritized, and your mind isn't constantly under siege. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're leaking energy. Tiny leaks, all day, every day, until they're too drained to do what actually matters. So how do we protect the edge we've worked so hard to build? You master 3 domains of defense. 1, your environment. 2, your devices. 3, your mind. 1, environment. Shape it or be shaped by it. Your physical space trains your brain. Cluttered desk, cluttered focus, noisy background, noisy thoughts. Netflix open in the next tab. Good luck writing that book. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your setup. So design your space like it expects you to win. Remove digital temptations from your workstation. Put your phone in another room. Use noise-canceling tools or ambient music to create flow. Keep only the tools you need in front of you. Your environment should whisper, it's time to build. 2, devices. Train them to serve you, not steal from you. Your phone is not evil, but it is weaponized. Notifications are not harmless. They're micro-assassins of your momentum. So here's what to do. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Use grayscale mode to reduce visual stimulation. Use app blockers during work hours. Have no scroll zones in your day, times where scrolling is banned. You can't out-discipline a device designed to overpower your willpower. You must out-strategize it. And if you truly want to move fast, delete the apps that trap you in comparison spirals. Replace them with ones that track your growth, not your likes. 3. Mind, your last line of defense. Even in a perfect room with perfect tools, your mind can be your worst saboteur. So train it like a warrior. Morning focus rituals. Don't let the world touch your mind before you do. Read, reflect, write. Prime your purpose before the chaos begins. Evening reviews. Don't close the day in distraction. Reflect on what worked. Celebrate progress. Recommit to your path. Mental reset triggers. Whenever you catch yourself drifting, use a phrase like "back to battle" or "lock in" to regain focus instantly. The mind isn't something to tame once. It's something you train daily. You don't need to become a monk. You just need to stop handing your power to a machine. Let me tell you a quick story. A college student was struggling to focus. Every time she tried to study, her phone pulled her into social media. Her dorm was noisy, and her mind was foggy. Instead of blaming herself, she changed her environment. She studied in a quiet library corner, put her phone in a timed lockbox, created a playlist that triggered a study mindset, and wrote one sentence before every study session: "This is my edge, I protect it." Her grades didn't just improve, her self-respect soared, because when you defend your edge, you grow it. So now ask yourself, what's leaking your energy daily? What boundary can you set right now to stop the drain? How can you turn your space into a statement of intent? Your focus is your most powerful weapon. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your dream life does. In the next part, we'll shift into long-term thinking, how to transform short-term urgency into lifelong alignment, and use FOMO not just for daily wins, but for designing your destiny. But for now, remember, in a world fighting for your attention, the most rebellious thing you can do is concentrate. Pivo often screams in your ear, "Do something now, move faster, hurry, or you'll miss out." And yes, urgency is powerful. It breaks inertia. It drives action. But if you live your whole life in reaction, you'll always chase and never choose. You'll move, but not with direction. Act, but not with alignment. Shadow Masters don't just react to FOMO. They translate it. They use it to clarify not just what they want today, but who they want to become forever. This is the final evolution. Turn short-term urgency into long-term alignment. Use the fire of missing out, not to panic, but to plan. Not to chase validation, but to create vision. Let me explain. FOMO isn't just fear of missing experiences. It's fear of living a misaligned life. Deep down, you're not afraid someone else is winning. You're afraid that you aren't becoming who you know you could be. That feeling, that ache in your chest when you see others doing what you dream of, that's your soul telling you, this isn't just about them, it's about you. So now, ask yourself, what kind of life would silence my FOMO? Not just today, but for the next decade. What values matter more to me than attention? What does success feel like, not just look like? Because chasing what's loud will never fulfill what's true. Let me share a story. There was a man who always felt FOMO over luxury. Big cars, designer brands, exotic vacations. So he worked relentlessly, jumped from job to job, chasing the next raise. But one day, his mother fell ill. He took time off, slowed down, spent quiet afternoons holding her hand, and something shifted. He realized what he truly feared missing wasn't luxury. It was presence, time with people he loved, moments he could never buy back. That moment changed his path. He downsized his lifestyle, started a business that allowed more flexibility, built memories, not just milestones. FOMO hadn't misled him. It had miscommunicated. It wasn't about cars. It was about connection. This is the real mastery. Learning to decode FOMO not as a demand, but as a direction. A whisper saying, live deeper, choose better. Align now. So how do you turn urgency into legacy? 1. Create a life compass. Don't just make goals, define your North Star. What do you want your life to stand for? What will matter at the end? Not just the middle. Write it down. Review it monthly. Let it guide not just your ambition, but your alignment. 2. Filter opportunities through identity. Before chasing anything, ask, does this align with who I want to become? If not, let it go. Even if it's shiny, even if it's popular. Success without alignment is just noise. 3. Redefine winning. Your version of success is sacred. Don't trade peace for applause. Don't chase trends that disconnect you from truth. If your win is quiet, small, slow, but real, you're ahead. 4. Check in with your future self. Visualize the version of you 10 years from now. Ask, would they thank me for this decision? If yes, do it. If no, adjust. When you live with your legacy in mind, urgency becomes wisdom. Let me wrap this with one truth. FOMO is not your enemy. It's not even a flaw. It's a signal, a flare from your subconscious saying, there's something more for you. Go find it. But don't just run faster. Run truer. Design a life so aligned, so intentional, so deeply yours, that there's nothing left to miss out on, because you're living exactly what you were meant for. In our final part, we'll close the loop. I'll give you a call to action, a rally cry to rise and reclaim your power once and for all. But for now, remember, urgency starts the journey. Alignment builds the legacy. Let's take a breath. You've come a long way in this journey. You've peeled back the layers of FOMO, not as fear, but as fuel, not as weakness, but as a weapon. You've seen how it can spark action, reveal clarity, build momentum, and design alignment. But now, it's time to own it. This isn't about managing FOMO anymore. This is about becoming the version of yourself that has nothing left to miss out on, because you are too fully engaged with your mission to care what anyone else is doing. That's the destination. Not freedom from fear, but freedom through fear. The ability to feel the heat of comparison and still stay focused, to hear the noise of the world and still move in silence, to feel behind and still lead yourself forward. Let me say something bold. You are the one you've been waiting for. Not some guru, not some permission, not some lucky break. Just you, with eyes open, hands dirty, heart committed. Because while others scroll, you build. While others compare, you clarify. While others hesitate, you execute. You don't run from the fire, you harness it. That's what it means to master the shadow. Not to eliminate darkness, but to extract strength from it. Not to escape fear, but to move with it as an ally. Not to suppress your FOMO, but to transmute it into focused, purposeful action. You are not here to be a spectator in your own life. You are here to be the architect of it. Let me leave you with one final story. There was a young man, raised in a small town, where no one dared to dream big. Every time he saw someone successful online, he felt that twist in his chest. FOMO gnawed at him, whispering, "You'll never make it out." But one night, he flipped the script. He stopped asking, "Why not me?" and started declaring, "It will be me." He wrote that phrase on his mirror, on his phone wallpaper, on his notebook. He saw it every single day, and every time FOMO crept in, he didn't run. He read that phrase again, and took one more step. One step became a habit. Habit became momentum. Momentum became mastery. Years later, people asked how he did it, and his answer was simple. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I started acting like I was already becoming. Now it's your turn. You've learned the strategies. You've felt the fire. You've seen the truth. FOMO is not a flaw. It's feedback. It's the signal that says, there's a bigger life waiting for you. But it doesn't come to the one who watches. It comes to the one who moves. So here's the final call. Stop waiting. Start moving. Use everything. Leave nothing. Let the world wonder how you did it. Let them feel your silence more than they'd ever hear your noise. Let them try to catch up while you become unstoppable. Your story isn't waiting to be written. It's waiting to be lived. And today, you begin.